Hi, this is Dave Chenault with SkyLite Systems, and in this video, I'm going to take you through a day in the life of a salesperson using SideKick365 xRM Ultimate. So the idea here is that we're going to look at how you would use the system in all facets of your day-to-day operations. And let's get started here. I'm at the home page of SideKick365 xRM Ultimate. On the left side, you're going to see all the main modules that we have. We have leads, accounts, opportunities, spread, which I'll explain a little bit, projects, contacts, tasks, etc. So let's go through the life cycle. Let's go into a lead. Now, a lead in our system is a very simple list of items. It's got a basic list of attributes about something you're going to be selling to or tracking. So it just has the address, it has maybe a main contact. If I scroll down and take a look at, let's say, Chapman Ross Esquire, when I click on it, I see it's a very, very simple list item, and it just has basic contact information. Now, let's say that this lead became something much more to us, something that we wanted to track. So if I go into this Chapman Ross and I select my advanced options and hit advanced, I can promote this. And what that means is I can turn this lead into an account that I want to start to follow. So let's do that. When I click the promote button, I'm going to be given an option to give it a security profile. And in SideKick, we can assign security profiles so that only certain people are able to see items in the system. If you don't assign a profile, then anybody can see the information. But in this case, I'm going to assign it the Alan S profile so that only people who are part of that sales team can see it, and I hit promote. So we'll give it a minute here. I know it's just going to kind of spin along. And what it does is it's going to convert this lead into an account. And if I remember right, I'll just take a quick look here. That was going to be this Chapman Ross over here. So let's go into accounts and take a look at that. Now I'm in the account module. And what I will see is when I open up that new account, that Chapman Ross, I'm going to notice I have a lot more options. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm using the ability to do filtering in SharePoint. And it's really great. I can just scroll down here. Instead of going through many pages, I'm going to look for that Chapman Ross that I just added in. And there it is. So if I click once on it, I can see that it's already been qualified as a lead. I'm the owner. And let's open it up. Take a look. So when I open up this new account, what I'm going to see is I have a lot more options now to start tracking information. I can start to build different opportunities around this. I can start to create tasks and notes. I can attach documents, I can attach people, and I can make projects around this account. I can also start to attach notes, and these are extremely useful. Notes are a great way for me to remind myself to do things in the system and also just to keep track of what's going on. So let's say that I had done a phone call to Ross. So I'll just say called Ross to qualify. And so what I'll do here is put a little more information about it. I'll just say spoke. I might give it a date. So let's just put in today, 6/28. 16, spoke to Ross, should follow up. And I'm going to put a follow-up date here of, let's say, August 31st. And so what will happen when I save this, this note gets associated with this account, and on the 31st of August, I'll get an email reminder with a link back to this note saying, hey, I should follow up on this Ross phone call I made, see what's going on. Okay, now let's say I wanted to build a new opportunity for this. There's a couple ways to do it in the system. One is, since I'm already in the account, I could just say new item here. And when I say new item, it'll go ahead and start putting in some information about this account for me. I can give it a new name, so I say new opportunity. I'll just make something up here. And I can fill in any red star is going to be required. So my expected close date is going to be let's say I made one up here for September 30th. And my comments are good lead. Okay. And the amount, I'm not sure yet what it is. Probability, let's go 50%. And let's say that I have a proposal developed. And these are all modifiable, very easy to change this. I could also assign a security profile if I wanted. So I'll say Alan S. I don't want anyone else seeing this. And if I had an outgoing marketing campaign that spawned this opportunity, I could also select that. So I can then at a later date determine how effective my sales campaigns have been. So let's go ahead and save all this. Now when I save the new opportunity, I'm going to have the ability now to go in and add some products if I want to, and some additional notes as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Takes it just a minute. And what I'll see here is I have the ability now to add in new notes or some items. Let's go ahead and add in an item. And these are items that I've identified in my products module. So in this case, I'm going to say that it's going to be some project management. And I'm going to identify that I have a quantity of 10 hours. Save that one. Let's add another one. Let's put in some general labor. So you can see I can put in either products or I can put in services as well. And let's put in 40 hours of general labor as well. I hope at this point you're saying, wow, this is a pretty awesome product. Now what I can do is I can see what my cost is and what my total price is. If I hit this set amount, what it'll do is it'll put that amount into my opportunity. Do you see how it just did that for me? So now I can say how much is this opportunity worth? Now let's say that I expected to earn this over a couple of periods. So if you remember, I thought it was going to be closed in September. So let's do this. Let's take this spread amount. Let's put the amount I think I'm going to get on this. We'll make it September 30th and we'll put $900 in September. And let's go ahead and add another amount. I'm going to add in October. I think I'm going to get another $900 or so. So let's put that for, let's say, the 21st. And let's go ahead and put in the remainder, which is going to be $950. Hit tab, say OK. And I can see these are now matching. There's no need to reset the amount because they match. But what I've done now is I've taken my opportunity and I've spread it to when I think I'm going to actually see that money come in. And we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Okay, so that's very useful. I could also add in a note here. I could say, let's do a reminder, just a to-do, let's say, and say call to follow up. You can write whatever you want here. And I'll just say, let's close this deal and put down what it is so I know when I see it. It's that Chapman, it's the Ross Chapman deal. And then let's go ahead and get a follow-up date on that. I'm going to make it August 26th, and I'll get an email for that. And I save that by hitting that little save icon there. And now I'm all set. Okay, so now I have one opportunity with a lot of information associated with that opportunity. I've got a note with a reminder. I've got some product. I've got a spread. You can see here I've got a note on the specific account. But if I click on this notes, look what it does. It will show me the note from my opportunity as well. Do you see the difference here? There's no opportunity listed. This is a general account note. This is a to-do from that specific opportunity that I just created. Okay, so let's go take a look at spread and see what that's all about. So now if I look at spread, this is extremely useful stuff, because what it does is if you look, it will show me when I'm going to receive revenue based on my opportunities and the spread values that I put in. So notice here in September, I've got 900 with a 50% chance. And in October, I've got 950 with a 50% chance. So do you see what's happening here? It's taking those spread values and it's breaking it out by month by salesperson to show me what my pipeline looks like. Very useful. So rather than having to put an opportunity in, let's say 3 or 4 times because it's going to be spread over several months, just put it in once and add in your spread amount. And here's my total pipeline. This is all built into SharePoint. It's just a SharePoint view. Okay, so that's pretty cool. We've taken a lead, we converted it, we added in an opportunity, we added in a spread, we associate some products. Okay, so let's look at some other things in here. Let's look at projects. If I look at projects, what I'm going to see is projects are extremely helpful when you make the sale. And you want to track information around that sale, let's say, right? So let's say I closed a deal and it's for this ABC lock and key at Marina High School, and I have a lot of work to do. So what you're going to see here is I have a bunch of notes that I've put in, like I did on opportunity, right, with a reminder. I've got items that are going to be associated with this project. Here's how much the cost is, and here's what we're selling them for. And I can also track time, how much time I've spent on this project. And again, it's very easy to add in. If I just add this in here, I put in a date, I'll just pick the 29th. I'll pick a start time of 10 o'clock, and I'll finish up at 11. And I'll put down the product is going to be, pre-sales activities, let's say, right? And I'll hit save. What you'll see is that my time now has incremented up by an hour, okay? And on this one here, it doesn't really make sense. Let's go ahead and edit this thing. Let's call this one also pre-sales and save that. And so you can see here I'm tracking how much time I'm spending on my pre-sales, if I have any notes, etc. So this is a project. It's got notes, items, and ability to track time. Now let's take a look at Outlook and see the integration we have with Outlook. It's extremely powerful. So here I get an email from somebody, and the email says, I'm Walter Pigeon of Pigeon Industries. I love SideKick, and I want to buy 500 seats. Okay, that's my kind of email. So this is the first time I've heard from this person, and I want to start tracking it. So if you notice, we have a button built into Outlook. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And right now, there's no account. There's no opportunity. So I want to make one. Right in Outlook, if I say make a new account, I've got this Pigeon Industries. I'm like, I have a lot of information. So let's do this. Let me copy all this information into my clipboard. So if I go here, I've got a lot of information about Walter. So let's start off here. I've got Pigeon Industries, and I go back now to my email. Click on this, click on New Account, and I'm going to put in Pigeon Industries. And the address, let's see, that was 123 Santa Pigeon Way. So let's go back on over there. And I know that was Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I'm just doing it in real time here to show you sort of how it works. I think he had a phone number. Let's take a look and see. No phone number there, but there is a zip code, so let's do that. So I'll go back over here and put in the zip code. Now my main contact is Walter Pigeon. And his title was President. I noticed that on the email. And his email address was wpigeon @Pigeon Industries. Okay, and his phone number, let's just say I knew that. And any comments, founded the company. Now I also want to add in an opportunity here at the same time. So I'll create that, I'll say 500 seats of SideKick 365 xRM Ultimate. Okay, good. And the amount of that is going to be $1,000 a month. And the status is going to be first contact. And I expect to close this, let's say the end of September. Let's say need to qualify. So I'm going to say okay here. Now, opportunity can be 0. Let's do this. Oh, I think I need to take out the $sign. Let's say okay. Okay, so let's just give it a minute. So there's a little tip, just put in the amount and not the $sign. Let's give it a minute here now to save all this information. Okay, so it's done that for me. Now, if you notice, I've got this Pigeon Industries already queued up, 500 seats, and I am going to upload that email that I just got from him into the opportunity as well. Let's go ahead and do that. So it takes just a minute. I should see it done here in a minute. There it is, uploaded. Go back to my message. And let's go back into SideKick. Before I do that, I'm going to quit Outlook so I don't get bothered by emails during this demo. Just close that down. Okay, so here we go, going back on in. And let's go to Accounts. And we want to look for that Pigeon Industries and take a look at that. So give it a moment here. And if I go into my drop down, it's working on all the different accounts that are in it. And I scroll on down to Pigeon rather than going through different pages. And now I click on it. What I'm going to see is there's a lot of information here. Let's take a look. Okay, I've got an opportunity. I have got information about Pigeon Industries. There's that guy there. There's my 500 seats. Let's go take a look at the documents associated with that. So it's coming into the opportunity. There's my 500 seats. There's my close date. There's my need to qualify. There's my email. It's saved about a minute ago, which is great. Now let's go in and see if Walter is available as a main account contact. So if I come into my edit and I want to select him, let's put him in there as the main guy. Let's type in Walter. See what we find. It may not find it because it might take a minute. So if you notice that, see it returned nothing because it just got put in. Let's look and see if we can find Pigeon Industries. See what we find here. So if I scroll down. So again, this is one of the things about SharePoint. It's going to take a few minutes for it to index your values. Sometimes it takes, I've even seen up to 4 or 5 hours. So there's Walter. I can see him there. If I click once on him, get that blue button there, and notice I click somewhere on the name and say OK. Now what I've done is I've associated Walter into Pigeon Industries as the main contact, and I'm going to hit save. So the way the flow works is you can add in somebody as a contact. They aren't necessarily your main contact yet until you make that decision in the account. And if you take a look here, here's all his information that I typed in. And I could type in some notes, etc. Right? Now the same token goes for a project. If I'm in an email, I could also create a project if I need to as well. Now a couple other things I want to show you real quickly are that you can create outgoing campaigns, email campaigns, and they support rich text and HTML so that they're nicely formatted emails going out. Now, one thing to note is this rich text editor is only supported in Internet Explorer 11. It doesn't work in Chrome or Firefox. It's just one of the undocumented features of SharePoint that the rich text editor only works in Internet Explorer 11. But that's okay. Just launch IE 11. You can put in an email campaign, and then you can also associate it with a list of people you want it to send to. And I can do that through my groups. And groups are created from lists of contacts in SideKick. And let's go take a look at that. So the last thing I wanted to show you was the contacts. They're very powerful because what you can do is you can add a contact in SideKick365. If I click it once and then select my sync with Outlook, what this will do is this will take any contact that I've added in SideKick and automatically add it to my contacts in Outlook. And there's a special folder in Outlook. Matter of fact, I'll launch it to show it to you. And then you can actually synchronize those contacts into your main contacts if that's what you want to do. There's a nice little third-party free add-on to do that. So let's look at contacts here. We'll go in and do that. And you'll see here, these are my SideKick contacts here. So when I add in a contact over here in SideKick, there's Amy Mann, it will put it into Outlook for me in this xRM contact folder. And if I wanted to, I can set up a little synchronization so that whenever something's added here, it flows into my main contacts, and there they are. And by the same token, you can add in a main contact here in your Outlook, hit that little sync button, it'll throw it into here, and that then will shove it back into SideKick for me. So it's got bidirectional syncing between Outlook and SideKick. You need to click this button to get it to sync, and if you want it to sync all the way to your main contacts, you'll set up a little button here in Outlook. So a couple steps, but it's not too tough. And what this does, it's really cool because if you have anybody in your organization that wants to add in a contact, they can either add it here in this special folder, and it'll automatically sync into SideKick the next time you hit the button over here. Or you can have somebody push a contact from SideKick into everyone's contact list and synchronize that with your main contacts by hitting this little button here. Okay, so I think it would be very, very powerful addition for you to add in SideKick to synchronize one set of contacts for your whole company. Okay, so I think that's enough for this demo. There's so much more we could talk about, but I hope that you see the basic flow of how everything works together. You know, you start with a lead. You can convert that lead into an account. The account can have documents and tasks and opportunities, etc. You can create an opportunity from it. There's my new opportunity that I just made. You can also assign a security profile so only certain people see it. You can make a project once you make the sale occur, track all of your hours, track your products. You can also put together notes as you're working along and have email reminders sent to you. You have email integration with your Outlook contacts. You also have the ability to set up mail campaigns and associate those campaign groups. They're just list views in SharePoint that you assign to the campaign. And so you say, hey, I want to send it like everyone in California, let's say. And it will go ahead and send out emails for you. And then when you get a response, you can then track that by selecting that campaign in SideKick to close the loop and to see how effective it is. And don't forget, you can also spread the opportunity value among many months, so you're not limited to just one monthly period for an opportunity. You don't have to enter 6 or 7 opportunities if that opportunity spans several months. This is very useful if you do consulting work, have longer-term projects that require consulting, or recurring revenues, that kind of a thing. And again, this is the home page. All this installs into SharePoint. It runs great on premise or in Office 365. And you just buy it on the App Store. It's very simple. If I just go into my site that holds SideKick, I'll finish up the demo by showing you how to make the purchase. I just go into my add an app option here. It says add an app. And I go into SharePoint Store. And if I went into the CRM, it would show up as the first one, or you're going to notice it up here in the featured apps. But let's look in CRM. And there it is there as well. You can either purchase it for a monthly fee or you can buy it outright. So, okay, I've shown you an awful lot of information here. Hope you've gained a lot of insights on how SideKick works. And you can always email us at info@skylitesystems.com to learn more. So thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you said, wow, that is some app. Hard to believe, but it all runs in SharePoint. So you don't have to add anything. Just buy the app and install it, and away you go. We'll help you get set up. We have some great setup guides and lots of videos to help you get started. So look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you found this useful. This is Dave Chenault with SkyLite Systems.